Five, four, three, two, one.
Are you ready?
The misery where the killers pop it up, and when I say pop it up, I mean dealing with the tongue of the gun.
Well, now, we call this the act of mating.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Real talk. Radio.
Motherfucker, I'm awesome.
What's up, Internet? Said I was gonna be back, and I'm back, and I got 3 more people here. Yeah, ATR could not be here. He's doing his little camping trip.
Eagle Scouts for life, bro.
I had a friend of mine that was an Eagle Scout. He never told anybody until we got to college. He was scared that people gonna make. He was scared people are gonna make fun of him. Why? I don't know.
Some people don't take as much pride as being an Eagle Scout as others.
Because it's like, oh, you're a scout, nerd. I guess, I don't know.
Pretty much.
I was a Girl Scout for like 3 days just for the cookies.
It's not bad though. It's a good deal you get.
Don't leave me hanging. There you
So
go.
as you get here, X-Pac is here, the game is here, Bubbles is here. You already know who the fuck I am. So.
I'm going back.
Well, who are you? I'm HBK.
Uh.
Okay, there you go. I wasn't sure. I lost my memory for a minute.
Wow. Yeah, right.
So, let's get to that juicy info.
Well, yeah, this show is called WWE's Battleground Predictions. And I would like to just put that on to X-Pac and the game because they're more in tune than what I am. I'm more into UFC.
There you go, baby.
But I'm still keeping up with my wrestling day to day.
You better. That's where you got you started from.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
Okay, so we have been talking about Battleground all day. Fresh off the WWE draft, which we are not going to talk about because...
I mean, we could ponder on it. We'll ponder on it for a little bit.
We can tie it
like
into the pay-per-view.
Because viewers, I bought a package. So we have a 45-minute show than a 30.
How you doing? That works a lot better.
How you doing?
But we're gonna focus more on Battleground. So, Battleground, WWE Battleground. We have a ton of matches. Almost every single championship is on the line. I say almost. We'll get to that. And we have one special match that we have to talk about. But first, we're going to go through the lineup one by one and just go through a breakthrough of the outcome and why we think that outcome is going to happen and what we think the potential of the match is going to hold up to.
So let's look at this for the pre-show. We have the Usos, Jimmy and Jay against Breezango, Tyler Breeze, and Fandango. X-Pac and I, we were talking about this for a little bit. We definitely give it to the Usos. Tell them why.
We give it to the Usos because first off, why is this match happening? We have no idea. Did I miss something? I haven't seen any feuds between.
It's just like this is just another match that just popped up out of nowhere. They just pulled this out of their ass and say, here's 2 tag teams. They're not doing much. Let's just stick them in a match. Filler. It's more of a filler match.
It is a filler match.
They're just killing time with
They
this.
could have done really something else. They could have put maybe R-Truth and Goldust into this, done that again. Or, who knows? There could have been endless possibilities. But for just a random match, a match that probably doesn't make sense, or could be the start to a feud, that could make sense as well. But it goes either way. It goes to Jimmy and Jay or Breezango. And I personally think Jimmy and Jay because, quite frankly, Jimmy and Jay are former tag team champions. They have potential to be great. They have potential to be the top tag team in the tier. And quite frankly, Breezango has kind of just been more just like a joke tag team, kind of just like the Golden Truth has. So
that's pretty much how they got started anyway, with the Golden Truth.
Yeah, so we're going to give it to Jimmy and Jay. So that's a given.
Next we got Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Now this is a rivalry that's been going on for almost a year now.
This has been almost a year.
This goes back way back to their NXT, even before their NXT days. I mean, we know the history between them. They were good friends. They traveled all over the world together. They've been wherever they were by each other's side. And the whole thing where Sami Zayn was actually Kevin Owens' best man in his wedding, and now Kevin Owens has just turned his back on his bud. And they have gone on it again back at Payback in, what was it, April?
I think it was April, yeah.
Back in April, yeah. So this just, I mean, it seems like another filler match, but they actually did a good job of building it up.
Here's the thing with this match. This match is one of those matches. This match is one of those feuds where the heel is kind of just HBK lane to poot. Way to fuck up my thought, Ryan. Thanks. Thanks, HBK.
He laid down some sweet shit music.
Yeah. That's D-Generation X for you. Boy. This is one of those feuds where the bad guy actually can be justified to his actions. You see, what you just said is how they've been best friends for a long time, and they both worked their way up or whatever. Kevin Owens feels that his actions are justified because he came to the WWE, or NXT to be exact, pretty late compared to Sami Zayn, who got there on time. And just as Kevin Owens showed up, Sami Zayn became NXT champion.
He became the heart and soul of NXT.
Exactly.
By the time Kevin Owens got there.
Just like Tommy Dreamer with the ECW. Exactly how it is. But Kevin Owens can feel justified because, in a way, in a sense, if you're in that position and you have a promise with your best friend, like, hey man, we're going to come up through this together, it kind of just seems like, well, yeah, we are. You know, even if I'll wait for you or whatever. It wasn't really a thing where it also was made clear of either, oh, we're going to stick with this together, or we're going to go whoever gets an opportunity first. And the way it seems, it looked like it went whoever got the opportunity first. But it seems like a miscommunication on Kevin Owens' end. Therefore, in his mind, his actions are justified because he felt betrayed and he felt neglected by Sami. So he's doing these things out of spite just to get back at him.
I mean, if you get an opportunity like that, obviously you're going to take it. So I kind of don't blame Sami Zayn for that.
Right.
But at the same time, Owens has no reason to just let his jealousy get the best of him.
Right.
Which kind of how this feud got started.
Which is why I think, because of the way things have been, while Sami Zayn has stayed down in NXT as the heart and soul, Kevin Owens has made his way up to beat John Cena, become Intercontinental Champion two times, and has really made an impact, being one of the top heels without actually being in a top heel spot yet. But I feel like he will get there in years' time. Therefore, I feel like this win is going to go to Sami Zayn because
I gotta give it to Sami
he
Zayn.
seems to have not been justified by his actions yet. And this will be the win to say, okay, we're even. And then whatever happens in the near future, which to me means SummerSlam, we'll see where it goes. So, next.
Next we got Cena, Enzo, and Cass against the club of AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson in a 6-man tag team match.
Okay.
This one is pretty interesting right now.
This is very interesting because
it's kind of weird too. This is actually going to be the last match that
the club are going to be together.
Technically, yeah. Going to talking about the draft a little bit, since they put AJ on SmackDown and they put Gallows and Anderson on Raw. That's kind of weird. Or at least I thought it at first, but then I thought back. They drafted Finn Balor from NXT to Raw, and it clicked right there.
The Balor Club.
The Balor Club.
The Balor Club?
Or basically WWE's version of the Bullet Club that they have in New Japan, Ring of Honor, and all those other indie circuits.
The Balor Club has been something that has been proclaimed to be one of the biggest things in a long time. The only fear that we have with it is the notorious WWE creative that seems to fuck everything up that comes its way that could be great. The Shield, fucked. Everything else. Damian Sandow, fucked. Breezango, the Nexus, both of them, fucked. They could have been great stables, great tag teams, great competitors, and they've all gone to shit because of WWE's corporate creative thinking.
And if you think about it, whenever creative gets involved, nothing really lasts more than 2-3 years tops.
It's been the same thing where it's been the same thing, saying all the time that Vince is out of touch, he wants the old way WWE is, and the same thing with his yes men and with his creative concepts.
And how long has the Bullet Club been around for? A good?
The Bullet Club has been around for a couple of years. It started out It came to realization that they were an established stable that could be a threat to anybody that comes their way around the end of 2015, or at least the second half of 2015. Because when 2016 came around and AJ was leaving to come to Royal Rumble, it was very saddening to see the last of the Bullet Club in Japan once and for all, knowing that most of them actually would end up going to the NXT and WWE. So, with that being said, for the Club to face off against John Cena and Enzo and Cass, which is another surprise to take one of the hottest teams you have right now, the most entertaining teams, and put him against John Cena.
Or put him with John Cena.
Put him with John Cena, I'm sorry. It's kind of just, it's not a bad idea, but it's an interesting idea.
It's kind of an interesting concept when you think about it, because like Cena's been around for, what is it, like almost...
Cena has been around for 15 years.
About 15 years, yeah.
15. And to see Enzo and Cass who are on a completely
like,
other side.
Hot off of NXT's tag team division. One of the hottest teams you actually have right now. Just to put him with Cena, it's actually kind of interesting. And it's just, you know what I mean? It's just...
The ideology to have them come up as a powerhouse tag team with John Cena, that is the thing that's smart. The only thing that I just see a problem is that they're two forces coexisting with each other. Cena's the top guy, 15-time world champion, and gets booed a lot by the old-fashioned fans who are not in with the corporate wrestling company. Enzo and Cass, on the other hand, they're your old-school Queens Jersey-style badass Italian ass kickers who just don't care what they're like. They're the Italian version of Stone Cold in two men.
I don't.
And everybody likes it, and people are with it because it brings back not only something that's edgy and attitudey just like the old days was, but it brings something within the new era that we've been all witnessing to. Hence, copyright to Shane McMahon, who's been saying, I'm going to bring the new era with Apollo Crews and Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn and all this and that. So, with that being said, because John Cena had lost unclean to AJ Styles, I feel this match should go to Enzo and John Cena. And with a side note, that in the near future, again, speaking for SummerSlam, AJ versus John Cena, once and for all, John Cena goes down. And that will depreciate his status as the top guy in the company, and will leave room for whoever of the Shield, or whoever of the new influctuation of superstars that have come in the beginning of this year to take that top spot.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, man.
It's time for the torch to pass down.
Even though I support Cena, and I've been a fan since I started, like it's time. He's had his time. He's had his championship. It's time to make room for new stars.
And you've been a fan of Cena all the time. You always see me all the time. It's like, ugh, Cena. But it's not that I don't like Cena. I love Cena. He's a great competitor. People say he can't wrestle. Yes, he can. He's in there for a reason. The point is, it's just too much is enough. You've had enough of Hulk Hogan. Now it's time to have The Rock and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and Austin stay in that place.
And then when you had enough of them,
and then you had John Cena. And then John Cena's just been there the longest for 15 years. Somebody's on top of 15 years. It's not like boxing. It's not like MMA. Muhammad Ali, and Randy Couture, they go down sooner or later. Just a matter of when it's the time. This is the time. It's the same thing with The Undertaker. It's his time to go. He's got one more year. You thought this year would be the end?
I thought 30 was going to be the end. Because they ended the streak. It was just a major shock. But no, they had him come back the WrestleMania after that, and then this past WrestleMania. Not that I wasn't psyched for that. It was just... It's just enough is enough.
It's the man. It's not the man trying to prove that he still got it. It's WWE trying to prove still that they can draw star power by having legends that are not capable, or so we think, not capable of wrestling and putting on a good show anymore. But just the fact that the star power really doesn't come from anybody else except from guys that have been in the business for 20, 25 plus years. And that's where your story building is wrong, because then you have situations like Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that's true, but we'll get to him.
We'll get to him in a moment. But next, we have...
Wait, who'd you say that you give this six-man tag to?
Oh, John Cena, Enzo, and Cass.
John Cena, Enzo, and Cass. I gotta agree with you on that one.
Okay.
Next, we got the Irish last kicker, Becky Lynch, going up against the Queen of Hearts, Natalya. This is an interesting one. And it's just kind of been... Natalya's been, on her... face stable for a little bit, and then all of a sudden she just whams Becky Lynch in the back of the head.
It's a storyline that doesn't make sense. At least I don't think so, because it's kind of just goes back to the Heart Dungeon and all that. I Lati. And
I always like to see when veterans take on the new faces coming around.
It is, and that's why I think the way story building should go is that since it's the feud that just has started and is just fresh since the last pay-per-view, because Natalya has had her upcomings of attacking other people and just attacking, attacking Becky Lynch, I should say, and Becky Lynch kind of giving hers back to Natalya, this SmackDown, doesn't seem like a build-up. It's just like, who's going to win this? So, from where I see this, I see Natalya taking a win over this one, and then the next pay-per-view,
You give it to Becky Lynch.
Yeah, because if you want the newbie to go out strong, that's how you build it. That she can come back and kick ass and be the last
true.
kicker.
Like they say, sometimes you fall, but it's gotta be how you get back up.
And that's how it's going to go. That's how it's going to go.
All right.
Next,
we got the Intercontinental Championship on the line. The Miz, current champion, with his wife Maurice, against Darren Young with his life coach, WWE Hall of Famer, two-time WWE champion Bob Backlund. That's actually a pretty decent pairing right there. And if you think about it, the way Darren Young became #1 contender, yes, it's under Bob Backlund's tutelage, but it's actually kind of a stroke of luck if you think about it.
Because he didn't do anything.
Exactly.
He just sat there in the corner, trying to get up, and then all of a sudden, oh wait.
It's one of those retro storylines that Vince McMahon likes to take and compare it to real life. For example, you remember Slammies in 2008 when Batista interrupted Kelly for Diva of the Year? Yeah, Kelly, I'm gonna let you finish, but I was the greatest superstar of all time. Remind you of something? And we're gonna make Darren Young great again. Remind you of something?
Yeah.
I think so. So, with this being the case, getting back to the actual outcome, I think, and this was an interesting story or interesting theory that we had. What brand is this is Intercontinental, right?
This is the Intercontinental.
What brand is Intercontinental title on?
It just got drafted to SmackDown.
And United States title is,
which that's on Raw, held by the Bulgarian Brute Rusev. So.
That's right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have 2-tier championships. In the lower tier, they're on opposite brands. You also have competitors that are also facing for the championship on opposite brands.
The Miz
is on SmackDown,
and Darren Young just got drafted to Raw.
And we have Rusev, who is on Raw,
and Zack Ryder who is going against Rusev for the United States Championship on SmackDown.
Exactly.
So yeah, we came up with this earlier today. We just thought, what happens if Darren Young wins the Intercontinental Championship and Zack Ryder wins the United States title?
You can, if you're a wrestling fan, if you looked at past WWE drafts, you know for a fact that Vince McMahon does not let a draft go without one championship or two switching brands. Therefore, I say that the outcome. Hold on, HBK. I saw that finger. I saw that index finger. Go ahead.
Wasn't the United States Championship already on SmackDown? Why can't they keep it on Raw for a change?
I mean, it's been on Raw before.
It's been on Raw before.
But most of the time it's been on SmackDown. That's what I've seen.
Well, that was back in earlier days, when Cena actually debuted and he was on SmackDown and all. Yes, the United States title was on SmackDown, but then it did change hands and it eventually went on to Raw, and it's been there for a good amount of time.
But when you think about it, there is the man who is notorious for having his United States Open challenges, which is on SmackDown now. So, with that being said, going back to the draft a little bit, all the new upcoming NXT stars that have been drafted to SmackDown can take part in that and give off brilliant matches that we've never seen before.
Yes,
so,
that's true.
With that being said, I will say that Darren Young and Zack Ryder will win each specific individual title that they are facing for,
making each title switch brands, the US on SmackDown and the Intercontinental on Raw.
And if we are going back to the old format of SummerSlam last year, around that time of the summer, John Cena will eventually get the United States title and challenge any upcoming NXT or low-tier superstars to showcase their talents against John Cena, moving him back down to the middle tier and helping the other talent rise up as he goes lower and lower until he retires and is able to do other things. Because let's face it, John Cena said himself he's only got a couple of years done. He can do it as long as he can until he can no longer do it and help the other superstars. Daniel Bryan is going the same exact way by being general manager. That does not mean that he gives off matches to everybody that's going on SmackDown. That also means that he can do what he can to train the other people and to go up. Same thing with Mick Foley. They're there for reasons, not because they're fan favorites, but because they are the guys who have been in the spotlight before and can help other superstars get up there too. So, both titles Intercontinental and SmackDown will switch their respective
You mean
brands.
the IC in the U.S.
What did I say?
You said Intercontinental and SmackDown.
Oh god, there's a lot running through my mind right now.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
we already talked about the U.S. title match, so we can obviously skip that. So we got another 6-man tag team match, but this time it's the tag team champions, the New Day, going up against the Wyatt family. Now the tag titles aren't on the line, which I feel they should. And just recently, WWE announced that the New Day has claimed the #1 spot of longest reigning tag team in WWE history.
They have beaten Brian Kendrick and Paul London.
Sorry, fellas, but your record has been broken. So, at 344 days and counting, New Day has claimed the #1 spot.
Wow. Well,
we're almost at SummerSlam, where they actually began their second reign.
They did, and that's when that is when the Dudley Boys actually debuted. Right after the night after SummerSlam. So that's pretty much interesting. But like you said, the tag titles are not on the line. And the last time the tag team titles were not on the line, and it was a 6-on-6 or a 3-on-3,
or even a classic tag team match.
Exactly. The New Day had lost. And since you want to bring some star power back to the Wyatt family, or whatever's left of them before they split next Monday, you would want, tomorrow, you would want to give this win to Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. And this is why. The Wyatt family, within the past year, has been just a shamder of shambles. They've split up, they've gotten back together, they've been nothing but jobbers to The Undertaker and Kane because it's suited right to have The Undertaker and Kane have one last hurrah before they go out. In the midst of a Brock Lesnar feud too, which, is something of its own. But when you've had the Wyatt family lose to Wyatt family member, I can't speak. Wyatt family member Eric Rowan lose to The Rock in 6 seconds just to put The Rock over as, he's the icon, and all that. It's kind of embarrassing that you're hyping up this dangerous and kind of hillbilly stable to be nothing but a bunch of jobbers. And then you have something the night after WrestleMania where they take out the entire League of Nations, they team up with Roman Reigns the week after, and then they disappear. Because Bray Wyatt has an injury. And then that means that Eric Rowan and Luke Harper is damaged or has an injury. And Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman go down with him. And I just don't think that was just a very good thing. It
wasn't very smart on their part to actually go through with that. It was just something that it just should have been. It shouldn't have been done. Like the Wyatts have been proven to be a strong faction. They've taken out most people that they've come across. They've dominated who's ever been in their path. So honestly, they deserve to be more of a feared stable, more stronger one. Honestly, they should be holding gold by now.
They should, and they're not. And the only one that's actually held gold is Luke Harper, and he's not here right now. So
that's true.
With that being said, since it's a 6-on-6, and we're not making the tag team titles come into the 3-way tag team titles, since it is a 3-on-3, it is a 6-man tag match, and the titles are not on the line. To get that dominance back within the Wyatt family, I will say that Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman take the win over the New Day.
Yeah, they have to.
Because the New Day has had enough wins, retaining the titles, dominating each night. They're not losing these tag titles anytime soon. Who knows? They could have another year with these titles. But the fact of the matter is that the Wyatt family, that losing them and them losing their dominance as a scary tag team, it's gonna go stale, and you have nobody to fill that void. So they need to win. Otherwise, there's nothing going for them.
Yeah,
unless they end up attacking somebody on the brands, then there you go. But moving on.
All right, so we got Charlotte and Dana Brooke against Sasha Banks and a mystery partner of her choosing.
Okay.
Now, there's two things to discuss: the actual match and who Sasha Banks will choose as her partner. No spoilers have been given, or at least none that I can think of,
or any that are accurate.
Yeah. But who can we think of that's that would be a decent partner for Sasha Banks? Can't be really anybody on the current roster right now, and
it can't be anybody that's It can't be anybody that's a former diva or women's fighter.
All right.
It can't be anybody that's been a former WWE Women's Champion or Divas Champion or Diva. Or
basically nobody
from the past. So, with that being said, we just had three NXT drafts. Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, and Carmella onto the
main roster.
The
Nia
main
Jax
roster.
going to Raw, Alexa Bliss and Carmella going to SmackDown.
Right. So, with that being said, there could nobody current that could be a surprise tag team partner. Because let's face it, Charlotte's on the Raw brand. Well, I guess the brand's extension does not matter after tonight. But so we'll keep it in contact. But it will definitely not be anybody that is currently on the main roster. Draft included, because everybody's got their own way to go.
Exactly.
NXT wise and other people that could be factored in. Well, we have Emma, who has not been drafted but is out on injury.
I don't think it would be Emma, dude.
I don't think. Well, it's just a list of possibilities. We could have an NXT woman that is down right now, which leads to two actually that would be most likely, which is Asuka, the NXT Women's Champion, and Bayley, who
What is this, Beetlejuice? You say her name 3 times, she's trying to magically pop up?
Yeah, and hug me. She's going to show up, I'm going to feel a tight grip. Oh, I'm getting hugged. Bayley, that's 4, who could potentially be that surprise move up to the main roster. We've been wanting her. We've been craving for her. We probably need her.
I was surprised when they didn't pick her in the draft. I was actually very surprised.
A lot of people were pissed.
Very accomplished in her career, a former NXT Women's Champion, phenomenal performer. It's just,
and she
I was just
gets
shocked.
over.
I was just shocked. I was shocked, man.
She gets over. So this would be the perfect time. Hey, if you're not gonna put her over in the draft, you might as well put her over now. But whatever the case is, let's say that the tag team partner is somebody other than Bayley. I would give this win to Charlotte and Dana. Otherwise, if it is Bayley who is the mystery partner, then her and Sasha will get this win.
Alright, so if it is Bayley,
they get that win. If it's not Bayley, Charlotte and Dana will take over.
Yeah.
And finally, we
have
juicy stuff.
The main event, the triple threat match between the 3 former members of the Shield. Current WWE Champion Dean Ambrose going up against former WWE Champions Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Guys, this is a triple threat match that has been, a year or 2 in the making?
This is 2 years in the making, since June 2014. Specifically between Roman and Seth, which has been a year in the making since WrestleMania 31.
And which was supposed to happen back at Survivor Series last year before Seth, fucked up his leg.
Well, I kind of like it the way it went. It kind of just left the weight on it. Now,
I mean, going back to the Survivor Series thing, if they were gonna do something like that, I should say, do it like they've done it in the past. Have a number 1 contender, have a challenger, have their 2 separate teams, and then they just go at it at Survivor Series, save the actual match for TLC. But we're not there anymore.
We are ahead.
We are way ahead. We are at Battleground. This is a triple threat. So Dean Ambrose, who cashed in his Money in the Bank the same night he won it against Seth Rollins, who had won it about a minute earlier.
About 2 minutes before, yeah. And lost that shit right away.
I actually tried to figure out how long Dean Ambrose waited to cash in, because remember, Kane did that a few years earlier against Rey Mysterio, and it was about 57 minutes that he had the briefcase before cashing it in.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that.
No, it was 49 because Dean had it for 57 minutes. So I was like, damn, Dean didn't beat Kane's record of...
Damn, Dean.
Yeah, I know.
Damn, Daniel. Okay, well, before we get to the winner, let's do a little bit of back history between all of our 3 competitors for the match. First,
3 men you had in a faction known as the Shield, who had dominated the WWE for a good year and a half.
Few have taken them down, but not many. So they were destined to be great. We started off with Dean and Seth, and then we added Roman Reigns, who had the idea of Roman Reigns, who was put together by the idea of CM Punk. Now, Roman Reigns was not supposed to be that third man. The third man, I'm not sure who it was supposed to be, but it wasn't supposed to be Roman. Fast forward 2 years, it's about 2 years, we have the Shield. They're great, they're unstoppable, they're dominant, they proved themselves. Dean was the nut, Seth was the architect, Roman was the powerhouse.
They all end up as champions, Seth and Roman being tag team, and Dean holding the U.S. title, who actually became the longest reigning champion
of the modern era.
Yeah,
I think that's how they claim it. Now, let's break them down one by one.
Let's start with
Seth.
Seth Rollins.
We have to start with Seth. Seth, the architect, very good on the mic, very flexible, very athletic. The man was the first man to win the WWE title. He was the chosen one. Not only was just the storyline, but he was the one. He proved himself time and time again.
And I find it funny. He was the first one out of the three of them to become WWE champion. And back when they were all in NXT, he was actually the first NXT champion.
And he was the only one that was NXT champion. They never won it either. So, with that being said, Seth Rollins has had you think about it, Seth Rollins has actually had a very legendary career. You think about it, he's the first one out of three to become WWE champion. He beat Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns in the same night, which was WrestleMania 31. He retired Sting. He won against Sting. He's been the first man to hold the US and WWE title together. And he's still going strong. He got knocked down a little bit by, his knee.
Yeah, because when you think about it, he never actually lost the title.
He did not.
He never did.
But now he did.
Now he did.
Now he did. By a man who we go to next is Dean Ambrose, a man who has been fighting recklessly in promotions like Ring of Honor, CZW, which is Combat Zone Wrestling, and has just been a nutcase
ever since.
In and out of the ring. He would be perfect for ECW if it was around. And that is a cold stone fact. A stone cold fact.
Well, he reminds me more of Mick Foley than...
He does.
Kind of a Mick Foley thing. I actually expected him to go into his Mick Foley side back at WrestleMania, but I'm not going to get into that.
Well, that's Brock Lesnar's own little, forte. But yeah, we should not get back into that because that's got me pissed. Anyways, so you have Dean, a man who's been working,
who's busted his ass day in and day out, and finally has his championship. Yeah, it had to be from a Money in the Bank briefcase, but he's finally got what he's deserved.
But he's also
time.
Got his own piece of history because he's the only man to cash it in the same night that he's won it, I think.
Out of the three of them.
Yes. So you cashed that in right afterwards. You're successful. By God, you've got it made. And he's been holding for a good month now.
And not to mention back on Tuesday when he defended it again against Seth Rollins in a one-on-one match.
And he won.
So it just proves that he'll do whatever it takes to hold on to that championship.
He's not one of those champions that you just think is going to be holding it and just gone within a couple of weeks. No, it seems that the creative team is finally believing in Dean. Maybe he's fit to be champion to some people, maybe he's not, but the fact of the matter is that he holds up to that standard of making all three former Shield members champion, and he's the one that completes it. And he gets his time and his run as champion, and we'll see who is the better of the three.
Not to mention, he was willing to go into this triple threat match.
And the character that he is, he has forced himself into a triple threat. He said, I will fight both of them at once.
At the same time.
And that is something that you don't really see because everybody else is bitching. Oh, I don't want to fight one person. I have two people. I want to fight one. But he's nuts. He's like, I'll take them both and I win. And if he does win, that says something about his character and that builds him. But, speaking of character, we get to the final of the three, which is Roman Reigns, and I have to get this out. So, no.
Not even that.
Let me get through this because I have to say this, and it has to be said, and it has to be heard clear out. You have a man, Roman Reigns. He was the powerhouse of the Shield. And usually the powerhouse goes on and becomes something big. John Cena, Batista, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, these
Goldberg,
these underground powerhouses that come up and they become great and they become something. But it's been a thing with Roman Reigns. And this is relevant because this is my conclusion to the match. The reason I say this is relevant is because Roman Reigns is a character that was built up by the corporate eye. It was kind of the same way that Cena had went up. But Cena had his own route of going up and becoming great on his own. Here you could say, oh, this just screams corporate frontman. And why does it say that? Because he has the look. He has the background for it. He's got everything that a man should have. So, with that being said, you would really think that we would have the skill and the promo and all that, right? On 3. 1, 2, 3. No! Of course not. But when you have a man that's been working his ass off, and trust me, his workload has been building. He has been getting more and more versatile in the ring. He has been getting more versatile in the ring, and I will appreciate that. But his promos are not good. His promos are still not there. They're trying to push him now, being this chill Samoan dude into being this badass Samoan dude that doesn't give a fuck about anything. But the thing is that him not giving a fuck is just so... It's not genuine. No. You have to be genuine if you don't give a fuck. Like, you don't have to be like, yo, Seth, yo, Dean, fuck off. I'm a be champion, alright? Like, it doesn't hit me. Do I like Roman? Yes, of course I like Roman. I've always liked Roman. But I see the position that he's in now. How do you get somebody over who is not well with the fans? It goes back basically with the same ideology that I you can't hold me to this, but I think Stone Cold brought it up. He said it's the same thing as going to a flea market and getting fruit and asking them if they have apples. And it's like, well, we'll give you oranges. No, but I want apples. Well, we'll give you oranges. You know, maybe you want oranges. No, I want apples. You can't.
They basically keep suggesting this character that nobody actually wants.
Nobody wants it. And quite frankly, it was, yes, so he could be Dean Ambrose. He gets over with people. But Roman would look better. Well, maybe we'll keep pushing Roman. And Roman just wasn't working. And then Seth came back just in time.
I mean, Roman's had his moments this past year. I mean,
but it doesn't last. How long does it last? Not very long.
I mean, it lasted when he first won it in Philly.
Right.
That crowd was
and then
they were going nuts over him. And then around the Royal Rumble that same year, it was just downhill from there.
Exactly. But when you put Roman Reigns up against a former 14-time world champion, you know that Roman is going to go down. Triple H is the man. Triple H is the fucking guy. Any old school wrestling fan would pick Triple H over Roman. Hell, I was picking Triple H over Roman.
I was
not
too.
Because I liked him, but because it was punchline best for business. I mean, Triple H pounding down on Roman and you seeing the fans like that, that's what you want to see. You want to see the good guy. You want to see the guy being cheered beat down the guy that's getting booed, and that was the situation. So when it was the other way around, hence the day that the game and I had gone to Monday Night Raw, the Raw before WrestleMania.
Oh, that was nuts.
Roman couldn't even get himself over by jumping over the freaking ring and diving onto a crowd of superstars infested with heels and Triple H. Because even then, do you remember what the crowd said after that? You still suck. You still suck. And that's just what it was. WrestleMania, yes, it's the biggest WrestleMania of all time. It still went in shambles. Why? Because it was a WrestleMania that was predicted. Why do you think nobody talks about the ending of WrestleMania 25? But what about Triple H and Randy Orton? Hey, Shawn Michaels and Undertaker had a great match. Yeah, but Triple H and Randy Orton, they had to build. Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, great match. It doesn't work like that. Your ending is key. You don't remember everything from WrestleMania 22. I'm sorry. You don't remember everything from WrestleMania 20. Well, you remember the ending, though. You remember Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero standing in the ring, both as heavyweight champions, hugging each other out. That is an ideal way to go out. Yeah. WrestleMania 30, what do you remember? Well, Undertaker lost to,
Brock Lesnar. The streak ended.
But then Daniel Bryan finally wins World Heavyweight Championship.
That was a good ending. That was a phenomenal ending.
And even last year, what do you remember? You remember Seth Rollins pinning Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. What happened?
He said Rollins.
Rollins.
He said Rollins.
Let's not get into this.
I'm rolling.
But anyway,
but you have memorable, unpredictable endings to this, and even if they're not unpredictable, even if they are predictable, it's still the outcome that you want. Did you want Daniel Bryan to win?
Absolutely.
Of course. It makes good for history. And it did go down to history. Same thing with Rollins, because now Rollins can be that ideal wrestler. And Roman Reigns was not that ideal wrestler because, one, he's not one to win this, and two, one, he's not one to get over with the fans at the time, and two, it was just a matter of time before you push this guy who you don't want as your face. Because let's face it, you know it's bad when WrestleMania 32 people working on the set have to lower the volume of all the boos that are drowning out the arena in Texas. So who's really winning here? Nobody, except for Triple H, because hey, he still goes backstage, bangs his hot wife, who is the daughter of the chairman, and still, gets his respect with the NXT stars and everything. So, with that being said, also too, you're building up a guy who then goes out for 30 days for suspension for whatever reason we still don't know.
It was like a violation of the wellness policy, but we don't know specifically what it was.
And they never will tell because it's probably a drug. Or probably was like Kevin Owens. He probably had like too many burgers and he didn't pass well. Whatever the case was, it's still his HBK's laughing in the corner over there because it's ridiculous. How does Kevin Owens get out for burgers and Roman Reigns just doesn't? He ate burgers. Yes, he's a fat fuck. We know. He's a good one though. He's a good fat fuck. He's a good fat fuck. He does his job. He stays well, not breaking sticking on to that. Because of the suspension now, we know in the past that some superstars come back from a suspension, some of them don't. Some of them that do would be examples like Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, and some of them being Roman Reigns. Because you push the man to be the top guy, and what does he do? He fucks up, and he gets himself suspended. With whatever reason, we don't know. But whatever the case is, you fail to be that top guy and stay clean.
Alright, Puck.
John Cena has never had that. So therefore, if you ask me if Roman Reigns is winning this, I say no because he's already screwed up with the creative.
Alright, Puck. So, just to end this on time, triple threat, who do you give this match to?
I do not give it to Roman Reigns. It's a tough win between Seth or Dean Ambrose because both of them have proved to be back on top with the spot. They're the guys. They get over pretty well, heel or face. But the way it has been, if you want to make Dean the dominant heavyweight champion like you've made the other two, I would say give this reign to Dean, and then sooner or later we'll see you go back to Seth, and then you could just twirl that around.
I gotta give this one to Dean, but I feel like this is gonna be one hell of a match. And if you look at the history that they've all had between each other in one-on-one matches, Dean has beaten Seth, Seth has beaten Roman has beaten Dean. They've all beaten each other, so you don't know who to go for. But overall, I gotta give this one to Dean.
He's gotta go to Dean, and if it goes any other way, if it does go to Seth Rollins, then so be it. Because
I actually wouldn't mind if Seth won tonight.
I wouldn't either, but Dean needs a steady run with the championship because they need to build him up as such. So I would give it to Dean. But what's interesting is also the backstory is that if Dean does win the WWE Championship, that means it stays on SmackDown. If Seth wins it, that means it goes to Raw. And that's the case of where you think, well, where's it going and where's the
it's got a 2/3 chance of just going on Raw. So, but I'm sticking with that 1/3 of the WWE Championship staying on SmackDown.
I want it on SmackDown too. That will give some essence to SmackDown and bring it up. The competition is there. You're gonna get it. It's a matter of the feuds and the championships that you make with it.
And my pick is going to Dean. I believe that this match is going to actually be.
This match is gonna wow us one way or another.
I believe that Dean will win.
This match will be as great as Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker first time.
25?
25.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It will match that and probably will get a Slammy.
Shane McMahon did say.
I believe that this match will
get itself a Slammy.
Will get itself match of the year.
Shane McMahon did say that this is a match worthy of WrestleMania, but we're not waiting till WrestleMania.
Nope.
We're waiting till Battleground.
Dean, we all believe in you. So
I believe that Dean will win.
Kick ass.
I believe that Dean will win. I believe that Dean will win. I believe that Dean will win. Yes! Well, that's it. We did the run through. We got the pre-show that's on right now. I guess you want to sign out?
We're going to be going, man. So thank you for tuning in. HBK, X-Pac, Game, and Bubbles. That's
Catch Battleground right now.
The WWE Network pre-show is on right now.
By the way, the WWE Network is for $9.99.
And they don't pay us to say that.
They don't.
Nope, they do not.
But there's your plug, baby.
Well, I'm out. Peace.
Later, people. Thank you.